What you're about to see is a re-edited / slightly remastered review from 2016 that was blocked worldwide this year. Now, continuity-wise, this takes place after the Destiny Deoxys video, but before the two-part Dark Knight Returns duology, and for those watching via the Pokemon or the Mounty Presents playlist, this video is placed after the Destiny Deoxys one regardless, so that issue is already resolved. There's also a couple of things or mistakes I would like to add / correct since that video came out back in 2016, so when you see this arena on screen, that is why. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this video despite the subpar audio on my end in the original video, and hopefully this doesn't get pulled down as well. Why am I not surprised you're here, Shiny? Also, kill the track!
Well, I heard you were doing reviews on the Pokemon movies, and once I saw Lucario's film was coming up, I decided to make my big debut!
Except most people know who you are, and even if they don't, they'll find out what kind of person you are as the review goes on.
Right. So can we review the movie together then? This is my favorite Pokemon film after all.
Of course. Take a seat. Lucario and the Mystery of Mew. Odds are, if you're a Pokemon fan, you've likely either heard of this movie or watched it yourself, because whenever people talk about the Pokemon films, this film usually gets brought up when talking about good Pokemon movies.
This film is also special for another reason. This was the final film to be dubbed by 4Kids Entertainment, who dubbed the previous 7 films, as well as the anime series. After this film came out, 4Kids' license to the anime ran out, and TAJ Productions got the rights.
And for anyone wondering our thoughts on the change, we're neutral about it. I mean, sure, I did somewhat smile when Dodge Productions went out of business, but that was because the way they handled the dub was absolute shit, not because of the VAs. But yeah, final 4Kids Pokemon film, let's start covering it.
The film begins with a World of Pokemon recap. Similar to Destiny Deoxys though, there's not really anything to note here. So we'll transition into the prologue of the film, where we get introduced to our title character, Lucario.
After we get some parkour stunts from him, we quickly find out what this world was like hundreds / thousands of years ago. A literal Pokemon war is about to occur in a huge valley. No trainers, and no fun, just straight up violence.
Pokemon are meant to fight, not like this.
But before that occurs, Lucario touches a crystal and he telepathically talks to his master / friend, Sir Aaron, about the current situation. As for how he's able to do this, well, Lucario has a special ability he shares with Aaron called Aura. With it, he can pretty much sense anything, see the environment around him, even when his sight isn't working, and even utilize it to create objects.
So, basically the Force then?
I guess. So Sir Aaron leaves the castle and heads off to the valley, but the minute he finds Lucario, he tells him he is abandoning the kingdom and the queen, and seals Lucario in his staff.
Sir Aaron, why did you do this? Because
you're too slow!
So after that, we get our first glimpse of Mew in this movie. And then we see this giant tree, named the Tree of Beginnings, begin to glow green. And then shortly after that, everything is resolved. The war is over. Just like that.
We then cut to present day, where Ash and his group are going to the castle we saw in the prologue so Ash can participate in a tournament. On top of that, we also find out that the day the war ended is now celebrated every year in the town, which is named Rota.
But as it turns out, everyone else is wearing outfits from the Renaissance period. So in order to fit in, they find an area with costumes and pretty much take it.
Yeah, screw you, businesses!
We then cut to the tournament where, holy shit, they used the theme from the anime! Jeez, I didn't think they would bring it back. I thought they were going to keep using that unoriginal bland shit, but nope. And it's Advanced Battles theme. Sweet!
So Ash ends up winning the tournament, and we get introduced to Kid Summers, who tells Ash that there will be a ball and a banquet in honor of the tournament winner.
We then cut to said banquet, and because Ash won the tournament, he gets to sit down and get an earful from this bitch. There's nothing much to really note here, not even from Team Rocket. Not because it's bad though, in fact quite the opposite. We think this is a pretty good scene. The comedy is good, as is the dialogue, and even the animation looks great. But while that's going on, Kit steps away from the ball while no one is noticing, and she decides to try and find Mew by using her Weaviles. After a fight scene with the Weaviles and our main heroes' Pokemon, Mew teleports away with Pikachu and Meowth before transforming into a Pidgeot and heading towards the Tree of Beginnings.
But after that scene, Lucario is freed from the staff and appears in modern times.
After hundreds of years I'm free. It's time to... Wait, what the hell?
Yep, Lucario is back. And what's the first thing he does? Rages at Ash because he mistook Ash's form with Aaron's. But after that mix-up, we get a few scenes of Lucario trying to figure out that he's now in the present, and then we get this face. Oh, the hundreds of jokes I can make with it. So once Lucario figures it out, Eileen pretty much shows Ash's group where the Tree of Beginnings is, and asks Lucario to help them, to which he accepts. Kid then says that she wants to go too, and we get an exposition dump from Brock detailing what Kid has done. I would complain about this, but you know what? It's at least giving Kid some sort of character, so I'll let it pass. Plus, I did like the gag where Mime Jr. copied what Brock was doing. That was pretty funny. Now, throughout this film, most of the scenes with just Ash and Lucario have the two not liking the other very much. Lucario doesn't like Ash because he doesn't think Ash and Pikachu could have a friendship and thinks Ash will abandon Pikachu, while Ash doesn't like Lucario as of now because he legit wants to save Pikachu, and Lucario's words pretty much comes off as an insult to that goal.
It's like Lucario doesn't understand the concept of friendship, even though his former bond with Sir Aaron was similar to a friendship. Heck, back in that prologue, the narrator stated there was no Pokeballs back then, so he had to have made some form of a bond with this Lucario in order to get him to learn about Aura.
Exactly. Now some of you may be wondering why we're even bringing up those scenes. Well, the reason why is because throughout the journey to the Tree of Beginnings, we get numerous scenes of these two being at odds with one another, and aside from the explanation of Aura and the fact that Ash can also use it, that's the only major thing that happens up until the scene where they reach the spot where Lucario got sealed all those centuries ago. But while I could complain about that since it takes up a decent section of the film, I get the reason for the conflict, and it does give us character development for both characters. In terms of just this movie, that is. Remember, these films aren't connected to each other. You know, except for the Sinnoh trilogy and Hoopa's abysmal attempt to reference them. Whoops.
True. Plus, by giving us these scenes, it allows us, the audience, to connect with Lucario, and to an extent, Ash, which will make sense later on in the film, much more effective. But we'll get to those scenes shortly. And hold up, what about the scene where Lucario and Ash fight?
Oh, you mean the scene where Lucario states that all humans are the same and then we get a worthless fight scene? Yeah, screw that shit. So we then cut to the scene where Lucario is sealed in the scepter, and after activating a time flower, which can only be activated by Aura users, Ash's group gets to see Lucario getting sealed up. And also, this.
But after the event ends, Ash comes up to Lucario and apologizes to him from earlier. But since we had an emotional moment, let's ruin it by having Regirock show up.
So why are the Reggies suddenly in this movie despite having no mention of them earlier in the film? Because we need guardians for the tree.
Even though they already have a defense system to deal with intruders.
Yeah, these guys are kinda wasted here. So as they go inside the tree, Kid tries to get information on the tree to send back to her company/boss, but the probes get absorbed by the tree's sorta defense system, and then starts absorbing the other characters while at the same time trying to deal with the three Reggies.
Actually, now that you bring up the defense system, I've noticed you haven't been talking much about Mew in this movie. Why is that?
Well, that's because, aside from the scene where Mew teleports Pikachu and Meowth away, and the scene near the end of the film where Mew frees Ash and the others, Mew doesn't really do much in this film. Now, some may argue that since Mew and the tree are connected, Mew is also controlling the blobs, but that's kinda hard to verify since the tree is also a living thing. But yeah, Mew doesn't really do much in this film aside from a couple of moments, that's why I'm not really mentioning it that much.
So Ash and Pikachu get reunited, and I gotta say, the scene where Pikachu and Lucario meet is pretty cute. So everything's all wrapped up, right? Lucario's not cool with humans, and Pikachu is safe, and a movie, right?
Nope, because the red blobs then absorb the remaining human characters. Oh no, all of them are dead. There's no way they'll escape now, even though they're not only the main characters, but as shown with the previous movies, the writers can't tell a story without Ash being the lead.
So after all the Pokemon cry, Mew decides to free all the humans by using its powers, and after a heartwarming reunion, Mew begins to get sick.
Wait, Mew gets sick after that? That'd be like me contracting a deadly disease all because I opened a fresh jar of pickles. Also, couldn't this problem be fixed with something like Pokemon medicine? But whatever. They gotta save Mew now, or else the tree's also gonna die. So Mew leads them to what I can only guess is where the core of the tree is, and then we find out that Sir Aaron is trapped in Crystal. Huh.
And after they activate a time flower that was placed nearby, we soon find out why. And it's pretty sad, actually. Sir Aaron went to the Tree of Beginnings because while that war was going on, the tree was heavily affected by it, and in order to save the tree, Sir Aaron put his aura into Mew, and the tree was restored. This came at a cost. Sir Aaron's life.
So, yeah, Sir Aaron didn't abandon the kingdom after all. How does Lucario take this? Yeah, I thought so.
So Ash and Lucario decided to do what Sir Aaron did all those centuries ago, and it works. But at the last minute, Lucario shoves Ash away from him, and and Mew finishes the process.
Why did you do that?
Ash, let's face it. The riders are too scared to tell a story without you as the lead. There's no way they'll kill you off like this. Plus, character development and all that.
Character what?
I hope you lose to Eladios in the Sinnoh League.
So before Lucario dies, he activates one more Time Flower, and we find out that Sir Aaron sealed Lucario up because he knew that Lucario would follow him no matter what, and then he says that Lucario was not a servant, but a partner and friend. How does Lucario handle this?
That was so goddamn corny.
But jokes aside, this is a pretty sad scene. It's not only the third time a Pokemon has died and never came back, but unlike Latios' death, I feel like this death was much more effective because we got more time to understand / connect with Lucario. As such, seeing him go and how he ends up dying, I feel is a much more effective way to bring out tears than, say, earlier on when Ash was absorbed in those red blobs.
I agree. This scene always brings a tear to my eye because it's not only my favorite Pokemon dying, but it's a character that got development. A character that was pretty well written for a Pokemon film. And a character with layers to him. Heck, sometimes I can feel like I was right there when it all happened. That's how powerful this scene felt to me.
Do I need to reuse my cuckoo clock gag?
Do I need to hit you over the head?
Fair enough. So Lucario finally passes on, which also causes Aaron's crystal to disappear, and then they leave. Kit explains that she won't publish her findings since she doesn't want the tree to be ruined by tourists, even though the journey to the tree is not worth it, frankly. And then Ash states that he won't forget Lucario by stating that Lucario's aura will always be with him. Which is why in the next movie, he completely forgets about it. And 2 years after this review, we got a somewhat reboot of the movie franchise, and they have conveniently ignored the aura bit. Even in the anime, they've kind of dropped it after the Sinnoh saga, so it's nice to see them introduce concepts and completely ignore it, even in present day. Nice to see that certain things don't die. Alright, back to the review. So yeah, the end, roll credits. Overall, I think the story is pretty solid. While it does have a couple nitpicks, like the fight with Lucario and Ash and the whole Reggie's being wasted thing, I do like the twists and turns this film takes, and I do like the character development for Lucario and Ash.
I agree. Though, I would have liked a happier ending. Sorry, but Lucario dying is pretty depressing.
Pretty depressing? Oh, you'd hate Wolf Children's ending then.
Says the guy who hates Spirited Away. Whatever. Speaking of characters, we think that they are all also solid, with Lucario being my favorite character. He has an interesting personality, a pretty good character arc where he goes from hating humans to caring about them. He has great moments with the other characters, such as the whole chocolate scene with Max, and he has layers to his character, which is something you don't really see with these films. Heck, this movie is one of the reasons I love Lucario as a Pokemon. He's that good!
As for me, I think Ash was pretty decent in this film, and I do like his chemistry with Lucario. I think May, Max, and Brock were meh, just wish they could have done a lot more. I like Kid's character. Team Rocket was also pretty funny in this film, though they didn't really do much. Frankly, the only characters I didn't like in this film was Mew and the Reggies. The Reggies, because they're nothing more than a defense system against intruders, despite the fact that the tree already has a defense system, making the presence kind of worthless. And I don't like Mew because aside from it not doing much, it's pretty simple personality-wise. Now I understand why, it's basically a fetus Pokemon. But in the same film that has characters like Lucario, Ash, and Kid, I kinda expected more from Mew's character. I don't know, maybe I was expecting too much of this character, but I didn't really like Mew in this film. Now, as for animation, holy crap, this looks friggin' good.
I know, right? The coloring is very warm and appealing to the eyes. The backgrounds are well detailed for the most part. The effects look good. The characters molded looks good. Lighting is well done. And even the CGI in this film looks good.
I agree. It looked like genuine time and effort was put into the CGI, and I can appreciate that. Now, it finally looks on par with the first Shrek movie.
Wait, that came out in 2001.
Yes, I know.
Well then. As for the music, oh man, this music is fantastic. The opening song, the background pieces are very fitting and great to listen to, and that ending song, We Will Meet Again, is such a great song.
As somebody who usually doesn't like the soundtracks in these films, I can safely say that this is probably one of my favorite soundtracks thus far. Well, with Pokemon Heroes as a close second. Much better than Destiny Deoxys. But I think it's time we wrap this up. Overall, this film is really good. With a great soundtrack, solid story, good characters, and great animation, I highly recommend this film to any Pokemon fan.
Absolutely, this film is very good, and if you want to see why some people like Lucario, you might want to give this film a shot.
So that concludes this review. Thank you all for watching, and next time we meet, I'll be dethroning the Prince of the Sea in Pokemon Ranger in the Temple of the Sea. See you then.
Well, that was fun.
Indeed. Thanks for the help again, sweetie.
No problem.
So, why were you in a common again?
Honestly, I don't even remember.
I see.
So, did you figure out who sent that Jirachi after you?
Not yet. It's been pretty quiet around here lately.
I see. Well, I'm gonna go get some sleep.
Okay, I'll be up in a bit. Something tells me, though, that whoever sent that Jirachi after me is still out there.